Right, so I'm going to have a quick explanation of task 7, which is asking for you to introduce a second input that will track both cylinders and restart the system if pressed at any point during the sequence. Basically like an emergency stop button to retract both cylinders. So what we need to realise is what we're using so far. We have a start button, we have a stop button, which are still used for your standard operation to start the cycle and to stop it. And when you press stop, it still finishes its cycle no matter what point you press it in. What you also have is your two limit switches for cylinder A, so LS1, LS2, and 3 and 4 as I've labelled them for the B cylinder. What's no longer being used are 3 and 4, your in and out button to make the cylinder which was used for previous example. So we need to reuse one of these, and I'll call it, let's put in caps, EM stop. We'll make it normally closed. So you need to wire up a third push button now that is normally closed. You can use the D10 switch on your button box for that. So I've now reallocated one of them, and we don't need this one, so I'll just delete the information about it out, just so you're not confused what you're using. So you just need to be aware you need to change your allocation list slightly just for that one. This is task 7. For 7 to operate, I'm just going to do over the top of my current P6 and P7 here. You can create two brand new ones and call them 8 and 9 if you so wish. Just go in, obviously go in, copy them all out, and then you could put them into your new programs like so. Statement list number 8, and we'll call that task 7 main. I paste that in there like so. And yep, so task 6 was copied out, which is the cyclic one, which has the F0.0 bit at the start, and I've put it into task or P8, which I've now called task 7 main. So, pardon? Yeah, that's right. So task 6 had two programs associated with, which was P6 and P7. Task 7 will now have P8 and P9. So I'll create P9 here as well at the same time. Yeah. No, there's a global replace you can use to update all of them. It's like a find command on Word, find and replace, just like that. Program, what was I looking to create? Number 9. Okay. So that's my two new programs, 8 and 9 there. So I'll start with that one. And the bit that's different now is really only the emergency stop sequence. This part should still operate exactly the same. When you press start, or 0.0 is active for the flag, it then sets and runs through your main sequence, goes through the whole sequence, gets to the end, and keeps repeating over and over again. The difference now is in P7, which is the stop button one, when you press stop, it just reset the flag. We need to do more than that now. So in this one, you need to have a step program, which we didn't have to have before. So you go step, and if not EM stop, I think I called it, then reset forget the number, P8. So P8 is your program for the main cycle. I'll call it task 7 underscore EM stop. I run out of space. Task 7 underscore EM stop. I'll do it rightly. Okay. So that's just been labeling P8 with a comment, that's all that is. So straight away what happens is if you press the EM stop, press the emergency stop, because it's normally closed, that's why you have the negate function on it. It resets P8, and what you also need to do is think about the position the cylinders might be in. When you turn off P8, which is making the cylinders go in and out, A and B in different sequences, if you turn it off when the cylinders are out, you also, not only do you need to make them go in because they are out, you also need to reset them going out in case they're still being told to go out. So you have to account for all situations that you have of what the cylinders might be in. You know, A might be out, B might be out, both of them might be out, only B might be out. You know, there's a lot of different sequences there. So you need to also reset your different outputs. So A out, reset, B out. So that's the two outputs I have to extend the two cylinders. You need to make sure they're both off. You need to then set them in. So set B in. Maybe do A first. May as well keep it sequential. Set B in, and that now sets them both in as soon as you press the button. So you press emergency stop, it turns off P8, so it deactivates the program, but it doesn't deactivate the outputs that it controls. So you need to reset, telling both cylinders to go out, set both of them coming in. And the next stage is you need to make sure that they've actually arrived, and actually just thinking there, you need to reset also the flag. Because if you don't reset the flag, and then when you go to turn on P8 again, what happens is it'll just start up automatically because F0.0 is still turned on. Okay, which is a bad startup sequence. You wouldn't want to be doing that. No, because remember it's wired normally closed in your actual physical device. It's the same as the stop button. You ask when it's not active. Not when it's not pressed as such, but when it's not active. Because it's wired normally closed, you're having a voltage arrive in the whole time. So the PLC sees it as being active. So you're asking when it's not active, which is when it is pressed. It's sort of a double negative. A lot of people, including myself, get confused with it at times. So, yes. Okay. So you press the button, and it opens the contacts, which is why you're asking not active. So yeah, you press emergency stop, you reset P8, turn off the outputs, set them going back in, you reset the flag, and then you just need to inquire to make sure they've arrived where they're meant to be. So if LS1 and LS3 should be, which is the cylinder A retracted position and cylinder B retracted position, if both of them are in the right position, as in retracted, then that's it back to its initial state. So at that point you can then set and reactivate the program you just cancelled, set P8, and that's pretty much you finished. Then you can then jump to loop, and then you need to call your top step loop or any command as such, as long as the two names marry up, obviously. So what's happening here, you press the button, it resets them going out in case they are, sets them both coming in, resets the flag, it makes sure they've arrived where you've said they should be going, and then you've turned back on P8 again. Now when you deactivate a program, it just goes dead straight away. The outputs that it happened to turn on or off just stay in the same state, so that's why we're turning them off. When you reactivate a program, as in what we're doing here, P8, what happens is it just activates back at the top line again. It doesn't reactivate where you turned it off. Okay, there is a way to do it, it's quite complicated, but you don't really need to do that. So in this one, it reactivates back at the top. That's why we turn off 0.0, which means when you activate P8 again, it starts here, and it's then basically waiting for the start button to restart again. That's you really back to the very beginning. So you now have two options to control this. You press start, and it starts cycling through. If you press the stop button, it finishes its cycle and then just stops at that point, waiting for the start button. Your other new method of control is now your third push button, which you're going to probably use the D10 switch for. If you press it at any point, it automatically resets the cylinders back to their initial position, and then resets the program ready for you to hit start again. Okay, so that's your two methods of control for that. If you can have a go at setting that up. Hopefully there's 5 errors, how long, mixtures. See what I've done here. That's previous tasks, that's why. So it doesn't matter about those. We turn those off. Yep, 0 errors, 0 warnings. So make sure also deactivate P5 and 6 from your previous one, and in your setup procedure on P0, make sure you're now calling P9 and P8. Allocation list. Under the allocation list, I had changed either 3 or 4, which was our old push buttons to make A go in and out from the previous tasks. So I just replaced that with the EM stop, so you can pick and choose whatever one you want, obviously. Okay, happy enough with that?